Hi, and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Furk, aka Phil, and today I want to share with you two topics. First of all, I have this Leica Q3 43 for a couple of days now since launch, and during this first weekend I of course shot a lot of pictures on this camera. I think about 1000 shots, and I had the opportunity to do a first shoot, so to say, with this camera, from which I can share you the images afterwards. But let me start with the second topic, which was pointed out to me by one of my comments of my last videos, and that's regarding this new lens hood of the Leica Q3 43. If you're a Leica user or Q user, you will recognize this. This lens hood is designed a little bit differently. If you look closely, it's a little bit shorter, and inside the lens you can see that there's some extra inside the lens hood. And the commenter pointed out, if you put a filter on the lens and then you screw this lens hood on your Q3, you will not be able to use macro. And that's unfortunately true, because let me quickly show you. You see that you will be able to put on the filter onto the Q3 43, but as soon you want to switch to the macro, you will not be able to, because the lens is not able to move outside. This is how it is with the filter, and this is how it's supposed to look like when you switch your Leica Q3 into macro mode. The lens extends a bit, and because of this lens hood, you're not able to use your filter with this specific lens hood on it. Out of curiosity, I wanted to put on a regular Q lens hood on. This is also an original from Leica, which is for the 28mm lens, and I thought that would be fitting normal, so it's just a little bit taller than the new one. But unlike the usual Q lens hood experience, you can see that it's totally crooked if you put in the 28mm version the lens hood on. Sure, you are able now to have that filter on and use the macro mode, but this is just looking stupid on a Q. Comment below what's your thought about that. And I'm not sure why Leica designed this specifically that way. I have the feeling that they want to sell more accessories, because it looks like it's an issue regarding the UV filter on the lens hood. But if you look into the Leica manuals, Leica specifically addresses this problem, where it says, when using the compact lens hood, the new one from the Q3 43, it is not possible to use a filter in connection with the macro mode function. We offer an aluminum lens hood, this specific model, as an optional accessory for this purpose. The thread protection ring of the Leica Q3 43 is not compatible with the Leica Q3. So technically Leica mentions this specific topic in their Q3 43 manual, but for me it still has a how do you say that, an aftertaste regarding this topic, because yes, it feels like that Leica specifically wants you to buy additional accessories for your Q3 if you want to have a lens hood which works with your filters. And as usual, Leica accessories don't come cheap, because these circle ones which they are mentioning in this manual, I think the number is specifically for the silver one, and depending on which color you choose, black or silver, the number slightly is different. But that specific lens hood comes in over $200, so yeah, quite expensive. And for my personal taste, I don't like these circle lens hoods. I don't like the aesthetics of that. I'm more of a fan of these square lens hoods. And for me, personally, I have a workaround regarding this topic. Because of my specific use case, I know that I don't use that macro functionality as much, so I just screw on a filter before this lens hood. And if I want to specifically use macro mode, I just take off the lens hood, do my macro shot, and then put on the lens hood on again. Because as I said, I don't like the optional lens hood of Leica, and it's also too expensive for me for that niche use case. But yes, comment below, what do you think about this topic? Since for me this filter topic or lens hood topic has also quite negative touch, I don't want to end my video like that. Therefore, I will quickly dive into my experience with this camera, the first few days shooting this one. Thanks again for Mark from Inkbody. I will link you his Instagram here. He invited me on short notice to have a quick shoot with his client while he's tattooing a client. After checking with my family, I of course jumped on this opportunity to take this camera with me, the new Leica Q3 43, to do some pictures. Mind you, I'm not a professional, I'm doing this just out of fun, I'm a hobbyist. And therefore, yeah, just wanted to try this out. And here are some pictures. You can see all of these pictures are black and white, high contrast. To be honest, I was too lazy to edit these photos on this short period. And second of all, I wanted to nail exposure as good as possible in camera. But during the action, I realized I was too excited to use this camera. And therefore you can probably see that some pictures I overexposed or underexposed. To be honest, during this shoot with Mark and his client, I really felt the excitement using this camera, because definitely felt like having the Q version I always dreamed of, aka having a longer lens on the Leica Q series. Yeah, that's definitely how I felt. The first thing I noticed while shooting this camera is that compared to a regular Q was that my mindset is completely different. In the on the earlier iterations of the Q2 monochrome I had and the Q3, my mindset was take the shot and crop it in post. Here I definitely had a different mindset in mind. Compose the image correctly in camera, and there was no post thought. And if you think about that, that's quite logical, because this lens is longer than the 28 version, and therefore you have not a lot of room to recompose, so to say, your composition in post, especially when you are shooting indoors. And that challenge, you can say, what you often hear regarding fixed focal lengths came into play while shooting this beautiful Q version. These two feelings and thoughts made me fall in love into this Q3, and I really had a blast shooting this camera during this weekend, and it felt right somehow, especially in comparison with the 35mm focal length, where I always had the feeling I wished for more compression. This Q version with the 43mm fills that void. And also taking pictures of Mark and his client during this session, it was quite very fun taking pictures of very nice people, everyone enjoying themselves and their jobs. Had a great time. As I said, these are just the first impressions and my first experience with the new Leica Q3 43. I have this camera only a few days now, but yeah, I really enjoy it. As I already said, it feels like that this camera is the Q version I always wanted, and now I finally have it. I know I'm in a honeymoon phase right now with this new camera, and therefore I have praises for it, so to say. Let's see how things will go in the next few weeks. Thanks again to Mark inviting me to this session. I had a lot of fun. So Mark, if you're watching, thank you very much. And you, if you're still here watching until this point, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and my experience so far. If you want to support my small little channel, you can check out my affiliate links below in the description, or buy me a coffee also below in the description. Yeah, I will definitely collect more experience with this new camera and make more videos about this one. If you have specific questions about the new Q3, drop them in the comments and I will do my best to address them. And if you want to see more videos on my channel, just click on one of these and have a nice day.